Alright, favorite knives. Volume 2. Or video 2, I should say. Video 2. Alright, so covered a couple of small knives in the old brewer. Okay, so my two favorite small knives there. Now let's start with the stack. Ghost turd there. Blanket fuzz or something. Anyway, so what I got here. Tops Power Eagle. Now this particular Power Eagle sheath actually came with that Power Eagle knife, because I got two Power Eagles here. Now there's a story behind that. The reason why I got two Power Eagles. Now this particular sheath, this Power Eagle sheath, used to look just like this one. Okay. All black. Had the double, or the longer thing. Doesn't have double straps. It has one single strap. I moved the strap down on this one and put a popper here, or a snap. The stitching was taken out of this part of the belt thing and flipped down and sewn to the sides on this one. Yeah. And then a double dangler was made and sewn into the sheath as well. I had sent Tops some pictures about how I did this. I think it took like 15 pictures. Anyway, it came out awesome. And so this knife used to be with this sheath. So this is the original Power Eagle with the full flat grind. This particular Power Eagle has the saber grind as well. This Power Eagle is 5160 spring steel, and this one is 1095 high carbon. So the story behind that switch in steels and stuff comes from the knife having some issues in cold weather. I did a lot of investigating on that, and I came to the conclusion that it was just the 5160 spring steel doesn't like freezing or sub-freezing weather. I mean, it just doesn't like to be driven like a madman through animal carcasses and bone and, you know, anything like that. In cold weather, 5160 doesn't like it. So I recommended to Tops that they switch to 1095 high carbon steel, because it's a tool steel, and I had tested my knife, the knife that I designed. I had tested it in freezing and sub-freezing weather, beat the snot out of it, and had no issues whatsoever. Came through flying colors. And so I recommended that they go to 1095 high carbon. Whether they did that on my findings, because I emailed them and I told them this is what I found, this is what I recommend. But anyway, they didn't tell me anything. Everything was quiet for a while. I guess they were mulling everything over. But they did come out with this knife. They changed it to 1095 high carbon steel and saber grind. Okay. And Leo Espinosa designed the knife, and it's an awesome knife. As far as a long, heavy, I mean a real heavy survival chopper, you know, the Power Eagle is the top of my list. You know, it really is, because I could use this as, I could do feather sticks with this knife, and then I could chop down a small tree if I want. Okay, so it's really a great knife for the really large knives. And this did not really need a whole lot, but I went ahead and sharpened it a little bit more. It came convex already. It looks like a big leaf, you know. But it came convex already. Whoever did the sharpening on this one really did a fine job. And, you know, I mean, you get various sharpening jobs. You know, some guys are going to be new at it and they're going to be learning, and some guys are going to be longtime experts at it, you know. But when I looked at this one, I was like, yep, this one's a keeper, because I wanted to get the updated, and I consider it an upgraded version of the Power Eagle. 1/4 inch thick, heavy hitter, man. You could chop some serious wood with this. People that are anti-batoning, you know what, I mean, the history is there. I mean, there's a picture from New Hampshire. It shows a knife, a long knife, that was designed for batoning. It even says knife fro in the description. It's a knife, but it was also considered a fro. So if you don't know what a fro is, look it up. But this was actually a long knife. It was heavy duty, made for batoning through wood, you know, on the homestead. But the Power Eagle, one bad dude. The modern one, I say pick one up if you want something big and heavy duty like this, for either kicking around the backyard or taking it with you to some far off land if you can. I definitely recommend the knife. Now, I have not done it yet, but that particular one, I put all the grooves in the micarta scales, you know, and it looks cool. It's supposed to give a better grip, but, you know, the thing is the handle scales look cooler. I also put a bow drill divot on this one, right there. If I get the chance before I die, I'm going to go ahead and do that one as well. But I sharpened the heck out of this one as well. This one, I have done a lot of batoning with this one, but I do not use this in the winter. After those issues with all of the knives with the cold weather, this knife doesn't get used in the winter. Now, if I had to do it, you know, I would, but this knife sheath is new. The inner plastic bit there is probably a little bit better on this one than on that one, but it is what it is. You know, maybe I'll modify this sheath to just one of those things. As you get older, you have a lot of things on your list that you want to do, but you may never get to them, you know, because from the time you're born to the time you die, you're dying, you know. You're just getting closer from point A to point B, and I'm getting closer to point B. So that's the way it is. Got a lot of things that you want to do in life, and let me tell you, I have done some stuff. But you don't always get to everything you want to do in life, you know. Next one. Alright, you know what? Let's go with this one. This one has a lot of history with me. I've got what I call a porta dangler on here. This is a double dangler that I could swap from knife to knife. Basically, I could put it on my belt and let it hang below like a pack belt, right? So if I got a waist belt or a hip belt, I can put this on a heavy duty belt and it will ride below a pack belt. Now this sheath I modified. I modified the knife. This is a Tops Power Eagle and Power Eagle something. No, not Power Eagle. That's the Power Eagle. That's the Power Eagle 12. This is the something. It's Tops. If I can get this thing undone, we'll take a look at it. I always put an extra cord on there. And I ran out of poppers or snaps, so I never did get one in this. I'd like to put one in there though, but I'd run out of them and I forgot what I had ordered to do that. So, oh well. What do they call this thing anyway? Steel Eagle. Steel Eagle. 111A. Steel Eagle 111A. Now this sheath has been modified very similarly to the Power Eagle 12 sheath. Now I modified it. I put the belt loop down here. I actually made this belt loop out of olive green webbing. It's doubled in the belt loop area for durability. There is a large piece of seat belt webbing that I sewed into it that you can put a nice fat 6-inch fire steel in there. Painted the sheath. The sheath's been roughed up a bit. Yeah, I used some 80 grit sandpaper on the buckles back in the day. Rough up those buckles. Got some paint on, good paint on there to camouflage it for being out in the woods. And there's some paracord there. Paracord on the back for something. Who knows what? Who knows what I was thinking back then? I'm always got my mind that the wheels are turning, right? But anyway, this also has the Fury Road tread. Okay, so I did my own tread on there on the handle scale. The handle scale's slightly different on one side than the other because I put a bow drill divot on this side. Bow drill divot is a very handy thing. Go look in the very early videos of this channel and you'll see me do a few bow drill divot fires. It is something good to have on your survival knife. I wrapped this section of the handle because the jimping. I took parachute cord and I took the inner strands out, and then I wrapped it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it takes 7 wraps, and I did this is a whip, as they call it, a whip, and so I whipped it with that flat paracord real tight, and then I pulled it up tight, cut off the ends, and then melted them with a lighter. And that is because the jimping over time will give you a blister if you're not careful chopping. But this knife is super, super sharp. I put a convex edge on this on both edges of the blade, and it is amazingly sharp. Oh boy. Yeah. Reminds me of a katana, but sharper. This thing is sharp. But this was my second tops knife. My first tops knife is over in that pile. But I beat the snot out of this one. All kinds of batoning. I used it for survival training and so on. Teaching and training. And it's got the big saw back there. I like the saw back because the saw back helps you with making notches and things, doing spring set traps and stuff, right? You could stab this into a log. You could do feather sticks on it like that, or you could do feather sticks on it like this. This thing is so sharp. It's really sharp. I must say the guy who sharpened it did a really good job. Alright, so it would be nice to have a little popper on there. If my days allow me, I'll get it in there. Put that down there. And this next knife I'm going to get to in the next video, because I'm out of time. See you in video 3. We'll talk a bit more about my favorite knives. See you there.